Hello everyone, this is Chargerdude95 and welcome to a special Top 3 where I talk about the most iconic football plays since I have been a fan, which dates back to 2007. These are plays that I feel have shaped the game of football, and you cannot tell the story of the NFL without discussing these plays. But before I talk about these 3 iconic moments in the history of my sports fandom, what are your top 3 most iconic plays since you have been a fan for your team or for the whole league? I would love to read about it in the comments section below. So this first play comes from the first season that I ever watched as a football fan, the Super Bowl. This was Super Bowl 42 in Phoenix, Arizona, featuring the 18-0 unbeatable New England Patriots against the 10-win New York Giants club on February 3rd, 2008. In one of the largest point spreads given by Vegas for a Super Bowl ever, the New England Patriots were 12-point favorites coming into the game, and pretty much everyone gave the Giants no chance to beat the high-flying Patriots. If I had gone back in time to before the game and told you that the Giants would win this game, you probably would have told me to get committed. Yes, that is just how amazing this was. The game, however, was extremely close going into the fourth quarter, and the Patriots were leading 14-10 after Tom Brady threw a 6-yard touchdown to Randy Moss with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The down was 3rd and 5 on the Giants' 44-yard line, with New York needing a touchdown or the game was over. The Giants were seemingly dead in the water, and the Patriots were ready to collect on a perfect season when Eli Manning would take the snap. He would step up in the pocket, and we all thought he would get tackled 4 different times. Just remember, Eli Manning was such a tackle-happy quarterback, he would go down by the blades of grass, as mentioned by Michael Strahan in that video of America's Game After the Year. You would have thought that Eli Manning's buttered up his jersey because he was able to evade pressure, roll to his right, and spot a guy who only caught 4 passes that season in the middle of the field that Eli Manning, chucking the ball downfield, finds the anonymous David Tyree, who would leap up. His only obstacle was former All-Pro safety Rodney Harrison, who was on his back. David Tyree would extend his arms, and the ball would make contact with the outstretched hands, and going down to the ground, he still had the ball, trapping it between his hands and his helmets, and it would be ruled a catch at the Patriots' 24. This winds up resulting in the final catch of David Tyree's career. 4 plays later, Eli Manning would find Plaxico Burress on a fade route in the end zone, and the Giants would eventually win the game 17-14, with Brady being unable to come back. The Giants had officially accomplished the biggest upset in NFL history since 1968, when the AFL Jets beat the NFL Colts. This is iconic to me because it was like David versus Goliath, and the story lives on to this very day. Even the most irrelevant and unknown players and teams can compete against the Goliaths of the NFL. That is just what makes professional football so amazing. And that takes me to the second iconic play that I will talk about. It happened just a season later in Super Bowl 43. If you thought Super Bowl 42 was exciting, then you haven't seen anything like the next year's Super Bowl in Tampa. It was a game that took place between the Pittsburgh Steelers, trying to gain dominance on the NFL by winning their record-leading 6th Super Bowl, and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, who were a team that was irrelevant for their whole history, only having 1 playoff win since the merger, and had only won 2 league championships in 89 years going into their 9-7 campaign, having beat 3 teams with better records than them in the playoffs to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. They would actually take the lead against the Steelers on a 64-yard pass by Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner to future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald, if he will ever retire. With less than 3 minutes to go in the game, Cardinals led 23-20, but Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers would orchestrate an incredible drive, targeting receivers Santonio Holmes and Nate Washington down the field, including a dazzling 40-yard hookup to Santonio Holmes, and on 2nd and goal at the Cardinals' 6, Ben Roethlisberger would throw a pass to his right and in the back of the end zone, right next to the sideline. And who would be there? None other than future Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, who would leap out, catch the ball, and dot the I with his toes. The play would be reviewed, but it would be inside 2 minutes. But it would effectively cement the city of Pittsburgh as title town in terms of Super Bowls. To this day, legend has it Holmes still didn't maintain control of the ball as he went down, but it's ruled a catch. And I was just always amazed with the fact that Santonio Holmes could keep both of his feet in and tap his toes all the way into history. This also happened to be the final game that legendary NFL color commentator John Madden ever did, and that certainly cements his moments in legends among history as one of the NFL greats. The final iconic play that I will talk about even has its own nickname called the Philly Special. This play didn't occur at the end of a game, but right before halftime of Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota on February 5th, 2018, between the Eagles with a backup quarterback and the Patriots with the greatest quarterback of my generation, maybe even ever, in Tom Brady. The Eagles were winning the game 15-12 after neither club could kick field goals or extra points in the first half, and the Eagles had the ball at the Patriots 1, and the down was 4th and 1. I know for a fact that Hank and the rest of the Eagles fans were sweating bullets and probably wanted Eagles coach Doug Peterson to kick a field goal. Instead, Doug Peterson will call a play called Philly Philly with the help of future Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. Once the team set up the formation, Nick Foles would move up to the right tackle and pretend that he was going to tell him something. And rookie running back Corey Clements would line up behind the center and pretend to look confused. He would take the snap and would hand the ball to backup tight end and former high school quarterback Trey Burton. Who can probably guess how confused the Patriots were at the time? Trey Burton runs to the right and throws the ball to quarterback Nick Foles, who was standing in the end zone. This was the first time in NFL history that a quarterback caught a pass for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. It was also extra payback because the Patriots tried a similar jet sweep pass to the quarterback earlier, but Tom Brady dropped that pass just like the Patriots would eventually drop the game. It was a Super Bowl win for the Eagles, 41-33. Very few people remember the plays that ensued the Philly Special, but there was a fumble from Brady towards the end of the game that wound up costing New England, but many people only remember one of the great trick plays in Super Bowl history named Philly Philly. Many people believe that this was the first time this play was run, but it wasn't. It had originally been run by the Clemson Tigers in the 2012 college football season by Taj Boyd and DeAndre Hopkins, and then in 2016, it was run by the Chicago Bears using Cam Meredith to quarterback Matt Barkley, who was previously a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, by the way. I don't know. I just think the play was so gutsy that 99% of coaches would probably never attempt it on 4th and 1, but it went over so perfectly that Eagles fans are probably happy that Doug Peterson didn't listen to them. Many also think that this game ended the Patriots dynasty, despite them winning the Super Bowl the next year and then winning a lot of regular season games after that. The Patriots were never really the same after that loss to Philadelphia. There is a common theme about all three plays that I mentioned. Not just that they feature a certain David versus Goliath element, with some certainly being more underdogs than others. All three of them features teams that people pegged and franchises that people regarded as absolute outcasts. Yet the Giants, the Eagles, and the Cardinals, who all three franchises aren't regarded as some of the teams in terms of status that they beat. But all of these underdog franchises defied the laws of football in terms of Super Bowl championships. They had no business even going to the game, let alone winning it, and they defied all sorts of logic and won those games anyways. Just an incredible story every one of those three teams had, and the iconic plays that it took for them to win all the games. Thank you all for watching this episode of Top 3. If you have an iconic moment that we didn't talk about, please write it in the comments section. And if you have a category that you would like to see in a future video, please write it into the comments section as well. Thank you and have a good day.